back. It's New Mutator, joined once again by Myrk and Giant Killer General, otherwise known as GKG, of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, otherwise known as TMNT. And this is the grand finals match against Agents, I guess the Agents. And yeah, going to be interesting second game here. They dropped the first game, and we'll see what happens here.
I also want to comment on something. Before this game was played, this was actually a rehost because they dropped because they got this exact start location. They started south, and I guess they thought it was a bad start. But the thing is, their start can actually pick up the middle pus before we can. So they basically have a 2-pus advantage, and they dropped. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know.
There's pus scattered all over the map.
Yeah, I can see it circled on the overhead. The thing is though, it's territories, right? Like capture the flag, I can understand why that would be imbalanced, but territory is a little bit less so, right?
Absolutely. Well, that flag, like, it's not an essential flag. It's nice to be able to hold it, but you're not going to camp force on it. You just lose in territories game.
Yeah, as far as the fortress advantage, yeah, it's not that significant. I'm actually not sure why they wanted it so bad. And actually, I didn't even realize that south was actually the better start either. Apparently, neither did they, but...
yeah.
All right, so what can you tell us about your approach to this game?
So we have basically a slugfest trade, and I do these a lot. People probably are pretty familiar with them. You know, max Thrall, max Warriors, max Pus. I even got an extra Journeyman because there was so many points available, and I wanted the extra heals for the Warriors or Dwarfs, and a lot of Dwarfs. And there's a shitload of Pus on the map. The only reason I didn't do a bottle Pus on this was because there's so much Pus on the map, and there's a lot of stuff to control as well as far as Dwarfs. But basically, the way we're kind of planning this out is those flags kind of near the water, near the river, we're going to guard those with Thrall, as well as the castle flag.
Okay, so in the deep water.
Yeah, any flag that's near deep water gets guarded by Thrall. We just sink the Thrall there, and we're just running the timer out. We're hoping... I actually expected them to get a similar trade on this. They're doing very different strategies than what they used against us in our last match with them, which I can discuss later. But yeah, we just want to camp, run the timer out, and just the last 2 minutes, do a push for flags using, kind of leveraging our melee advantage. That's kind of the gist of it. And you can see them. They got a lot of archers, lots and lots of archers, and they're going to do kind of just a spread out 3-prong.
Flag captured.
Yeah, kind of a standard light trade.
Yeah,
standard body count style for them. They need to do damage or something with their archers.
Yep. So you guys are you're playing would you say that your approach is a little bit more passive? Like you're not going to engage directly until maybe the timers run out a little bit?
Well, I know I sure as fuck am not. I'm the Thrall guy west. How the hell am I going to do anything? All I'm trying to do is grab pause and run goals around. I'm just going to sit there. And so is Racking and Dak, actually. We're just trying to get positioning right now.
Yeah. Well, these kind of strategies, admittedly, are pretty boring, but always play for the win. And so yeah, it's the running the timer out type of strategies suck for the first 10-12 minutes, and then you do all the shit at the end, basically. And all of our warriors are going in the east, as you can see.
Flag captured.
So yeah, we're just running the timer out at this point.
So what happens when you run into their east flank? Are you going to retreat?
It depends. It depends. The engagements will happen one of two ways. Either we see them really out of position somewhere, and we decide to execute kind of a pinch, some kind of pinch maneuver on them, or we run the timer out and do a Thrall rush at the end for flags. So the east, we end up, honestly, we probably could have rushed that east, and I think I made the call not to. I didn't get a good look at everything. Couldn't really get a good scouting on everything. At least I didn't. I just had poor awareness,
Flag
maybe.
contested.
But so we end up not
captured.
rushing the east, even though looking at it right now, it looks like maybe we should have. You know.
I can find my goal in the minimap. I'm trying to like run one of my goals off to kind of get as much scouting as I can do because I got kind of a lucky fight against one of their goals and killed it. So it's basically got no use because there's no pus left to pick up on this point. So I'm just trying to get stuff running around. And off it goes now, I think. Can't even find it in this minimap. Jesus.
I see you have a goal like in
Lost
the,
all
in
my
the
missiles.
west.
Can't find my own goal.
There's one west, like far, far west. But other than that, I don't really see. I see Arsenic running around with his.
Yeah,
Flag
one thing I
captured.
must say that agents seem to do well, at least made impression on me, was they scouted the fuck out of us. Almost like just harassing us with their scouting units. And I was like really trying to... Whoa. What was that?
Sounded like a truck.
But no, yeah,
they lost
agents...
me. I had my window open. The truck went by. Sorry, guys.
No worries. So what were you saying?
It's close.
Just agents did a good job with scouting. That's just what I was gonna say.
This one,
They were on top of us. Like when you'll see in
Flag
this
captured.
game right here,
Flag captured.
you'll see me shifting west already, and I'm in the north shifting west, and you can take a look down if you find Kryptos' warrior pack in the center. He's like just shadowing me. I mean, they're just staying all, you know. I can't run around them. They're really shadowing the shit out of everybody and scouting us really well.
I also want to point out terrain here that they've
Flag
got going on for
captured.
them. There's so many choke points on this map that we can't really get a rush going without having to pump heavily, which would just get us raped by dwarves and plus. Like if you want to look, say, in the east, there's so many trees and bottlenecks. The only real wide open space is that area where the water is in the east flag. That's so many bottlenecks all around the map.
Yeah, it seems like they're controlling most of the map at this point.
There goes my scout goal.
Yeah, they're to control most
They're
of
no
the map
worries.
for the first, until we execute our push at the end. You can
Flag
see that they're
captured.
not trying to push us
Flag
any further
captured.
either, because if they do
Flag
push us any
contested.
further, they're gonna overextend themselves, be exposed, and then we would pounce on that
Flag
and just
captured.
jump all our
Flag
warriors,
captured.
our fast units, and maybe even some thrall on the near side into whatever's exposed and crush it. So they're not doing that. So yeah, it's just stalemate right
Flag
now. What's there
captured.
left? It's like 6.5 minutes left. So
For some
yeah,
reason,
just gonna be,
Samuel over on the west flank has his archers and warriors, and he's just sitting there
Flag
staring at me.
captured.
What the hell am I going to do if he pushes? I'm going to have to run.
yeah.
Being
Well,
so passive.
he
I disagree with that.
he might have been able to get a few arrows off on you, but ultimately he's not going to really be able to cross that river. I mean, you could stick
Yeah.
a couple thrall there, and I don't know if you remember, we did
He's
another
probably
rush.
He's really worried about like a hidden rush coming too, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe, or they're just chilling. I guess
Yeah.
they're happy to wait it out and try and fend off our rush at the end.
The
But
position right now looks pretty good. Like they control the entire middle of the map, so we kind of need to adjust
Flag
quite a bit
captured.
going into the end game.
Yeah,
So what's going on with looks like, who is this? Eastwind is kind of taking a circuitous route through the fort.
Yeah, he's
To
being
kinda go around.
sneaky, trying to sneak around.
yeah, it's just trying to sneak around. Yeah, try and get an angle on them, get a surround on them somehow.
But it looks like Paris scouted that out pretty easily.
Flag captured.
Yeah, they've got obviously Paris with his goal up east. They've also got a goal out west. Like they're really on top of their scouting.
I must say, the east,
So are we,
our
but-
east force, with all our warriors, which would be Asmo, our Zenik, and Eastwind, they really should have rushed
5
that
minutes
east. I mean,
remaining.
it's got
Flag
less than half the
captured.
warriors and only one dwarf. Yeah,
I'd be
I
a bit
kinda-
worried about rushing Kruniak though. Like, look where he is. It's such a nasty
Flag
bottleneck.
contested.
Engage
I mean,
dwarf in.
Contested.
Yeah, but you can surround
Flag
it. Ultimately,
capture.
what we needed them to do, though,
Flag
is not...
capture.
They didn't even need to rush it, honestly. They just needed to run... They needed to do what I was trying to do. If you look what I'm trying to do in the Northwest, is I'm trying to flank wide around to get in their backfield, and that's ultimately what we needed our east guys to do, is to get around in their backfield, and that would have caused some serious problems for them, you know, because then now they'd be all turtled up in the middle. Yeah, that would have made a big difference there if only we had done that. And I wasn't there to look at it either. I was kind of dicking around on my own side. I probably should have stayed in the east too, in hindsight.
Right now, you're trying to
Flag
flank their west, try to get into their backfield. It looks like.
Yeah, I
Flag
made Sam waste a puss up there in the northwest. He wasn't looking at it, but ultimately, Kryptos has me covered up in the west. He's not going to let me do anything. So
Our east is starting to be aggressive too. Just a little bit.
I mean, you can see that time's kind of running out just a little bit. There's less than 4 minutes remaining. And it takes, a good minute to walk across the map.
Yeah. Yeah, ideally we want to be getting in position right now to like be ready to do the push in the final 2 minutes. So
it looks like, yep.
They kind of shifted their forces now to the east too. Yeah, that kind of water valley in the east is it's kind of nice for a rush, to be honest, because it kind of neutralizes their dwarfs a little bit in the water.
Yeah, and it's so wide open. That's really good there.
Flag capture.
Still reacting GKG's rush right now. They scouted it kind of early with the goal, but yeah, Kryptos' warriors are coming over. Sam is going to get off his ass at some point and help him.
Yeah, Kryptos has pretty much a matching force. Actually, he's got a little bit bigger force than me. 13% to my 10%. So I can't really do much because he's just going to shadow me the whole time.
Yeah, looks like I'm preparing to do the mighty thrall rush too.
Yeah, and ultimately I'm trying to get... Soon you'll see me get my goals, trying to get behind Sam's dwarf to try and help pinch that, help our thrall rush.
Yeah, because if that dwarf doesn't die, then his thrall are going to do shit.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about neutralizing the artillery with like a thrall.
If you want to look at Osmo right now over in the east, he's kind of
yeah, he's moving.
He's playing like he's AFK right now. So, like, he's not microing his dwarf at all.
there goes his dwarf.
Fire.
Oh man.
And it blows up, and that's kind of bad.
Yeah, I did not notice that
also,
before. That's
it's
funny
like
though.
Eastwind and Paris are about to fight too. Like Eastwind is sending in one warrior. I think is trying to get Paris to clump so he can puss all his units, but Paris isn't having any of that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember Eastwind and Paris have a little bit of an engagement. I believe Paris gets the best of them. Also, one thing I want to point out real quick before the fighting starts is you'll see Dak, whose his only order the whole game was to guard the fucking castle flag.
He's got 2
He
thrall.
sends his whole fucking force off of it and leaves 2 thrall there. You'll see that come into play later. It's funny.
Eastwind right now is kind of getting raped by Paris's bus. Those were just like
captured.
Nasty. First one gets the dwarf. Second one clumps half his melee. He's still
4 warriors hit. Yeah,
he's
that
even got a
sucks.
plus left.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Paris definitely got the best of him there. Now you can see our thrall rush going in the middle. Which we sent way too many thrall middle. Like, I have no idea why we sent 30 thrall middle, but...
Uh-oh, looks like
Dark King is out of it, not really...
Oh, weird.
The best micro mode with his plus right now. Took 2 to kill that dwarf.
Samuel backed his goal off of Dak for some reason. Dak didn't even see
Oh, wow.
his goal.
Yeah, that middle dwarf. PK's middle dwarf, like, should have died much easier. I'm about to kill Sam's dwarf in the west to help our Myrkanized rush in the west. I get a clean hit on it.
Yeah, so now I'm trying to protect my dwarf from that plus goal and kind of like roll were spread out to deal with that dwarf, and now they're just kind of too spread out because now there's no dwarf. It's just warriors.
Flag
Yeah,
But it still has archers and fire arrows, which can be kind of bad.
Yeah, and Kryptos, I'm now controlling units in 2 different places. Kryptos is passing my warriors.
Contested.
He ends up killing most of those.
Spread.
It's sudden death right now. They're up in flags. There's a lot of areas where we can contest, though, and that's ultimately what we want to do, is keep it contesting.
Yeah, and off in the south, Arsenic is trying to get flags. He's just kind of engaging Thrall and archers right now.
The longer this contests, the more to our advantage at this point.
Contested.
So you'll see in the north, one warrior, one vet warrior about to attack those 2 Thrall there. It ends up taking that flag.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Because Dak has him on guard.
Yeah, that's just embarrassing.
So it 1v1s the Thrall down.
Oh man.
Myrk and I end up losing the west. Now we can contest a lot in the south. We're in their backfield, but you'll see that we end up not contesting like we should, basically.
Ours is doing a decent job of spreading his stuff out to contest flags. I'll give him that.
Right.
Flag captured.
You have a lot of Thrall mid.
Contested.
We should be contesting their castle flag, which is only guarded by 3 Thrall. We could easily contest it with a goal all day if somebody was on that. Ours should be able to take this flag he's about to fight.
Oh.
Game over.
Yeah, Dak
in the southwest.
Dak had the goal there, but he didn't send it in to contest.
Right, exactly.
It was a little bit too late.
And there's ours. He doesn't contest. Right there, and this is about to be game over. Oh, see that? Now this is kind of ironic because Agents ended up losing a territories game to us. This was not nearly as bad as that. They were up 30%. We ended up winning by a no contest, having a flag lead for like a 5-second window.
Absolutely hilarious game. I remember that.
That was funny. But this is something similar. Like, we actually should have won this had it gone out, I think, a little bit longer, because there was 2 flags we were about to swing on them in their backfield, and I don't know. Anyway, we could have played this one a little bit better. But again, another example where I feel we had the superior unit trade and strategy, but as you can see, it's a lot of times it's all about the execution, and we did not execute very well at all.
Yeah, it seemed like it could have gone a little bit better, but you know, that could just be Agents, right? Could just be they played a superior game.
I give Paris a lot of credit for that kind of owning Eastwind over in the northeast. It's pretty bad.
Paris definitely did good killing Eastwind, because definitely at worst case scenario, Eastwind should have came out even in that engagement. But yep, you can see ours. If you're looking at the stats now, ours is pretty much the only person on our team that had actually really good stats, and everybody else kind of did shitty. But
even so, the damage was pretty close, pretty comparable.
Yeah, true. Pretty even percentages, pretty even damage. Yeah.
Through that.
All right. Well, that's going to be game 2. So far, the Agents are up 2-0 in the grand finals against TMNT, the Ninja Turtles. And game 3 is going to be next. So stick around and we'll see you then.
Alright, booting up Dark Canyon.